Hello there. We're just going to give it a few minutes for everyone to join into the webinar. See some people joining. Welcome. Hi, everybody. Come on in. So excited to be back with another Facebook Live event. Welcome. All right. So I'm just going to get started. And if you're streaming in, welcome. So happy to see you. So hello, everyone. Welcome to our 5th Facebook Live event. This time we're doing it on the truth about holiday waste, where we will be discussing the shocking amount of waste that's generated around this time of year with the holidays. Our guest speaker today is Masters of Environment and Sustainability student Kaely Moyer, and we will be talking about all the ways that we create waste throughout the holiday season, and we'll be providing lots of tips on how to lessen our impact. This presentation is being recorded, so you are more than welcome to watch it another time if you aren't able to make it tonight. My name is Kaely Kraft. I'm a recent graduate from the University of Guelph. Here I completed a major in child development and I gained a strong passion for environmental sustainability. So it is a privilege today to be able to talk about this topic alongside our guest speaker, Kaely, to take a closer look at what we can do this holiday season to be a little bit more mindful of our waste and our impacts. This stream is brought to you in part by Ecodemy. Ecodemy is the newest online environmental education platform for your family. You can learn, share, and grow with courses on eco topics from climate change to electronic waste. And at the end of the presentation, stay tuned as I will be sharing a link where you can enter a $25 gift certificate to your local refill store and get a 7-day trial of Ecodemy courses. We drew the name of the winner for the $25 gift certificate from the Ocean Plastic webinar, and the lucky winner will be notified and will receive an email shortly. Great Lakes Refill Company is a sponsor of this stream as well. It is Sarnia-Lambton's first zero-waste grocery store and bulk refill bar located at 454 Christina Street North in Sarnia. Their mission is to build community around environmental stewardship by creating access to package-free groceries and sustainable lifestyle products. They also operate on a bring-your-own-container model to fill up on all your household essentials and to eliminate packaging and food waste. So before we begin, I would like to read Lambton County's newly adopted Acknowledgement of Ancestral Land Statement. We acknowledge that this land on which we are gathered today is part of the ancestral land of the Chippewa, Odawa, and Potawatomi people, referred to collectively as the Anishinaabe. It is through the connection of the Anishinaabe with the spirit of the land, water, and air that we recognize their unique cultures, traditions, and values. Together as treaty people, we have a shared responsibility to act with respect for the environment that sustains all life, protecting the future for those generations to come. So now we will get started into the presentation. Here's just a little look at the agenda for today. So first, we're going to be putting holiday waste into perspective. We will be going into some eco-friendly wrapping options, and then we're going to be joined by Kaely Moyer, who's going to help us discuss some eco-friendly gift ideas and some tips and tricks, as well as some eco-conscious holiday traditions. So holiday waste. Let's put some things into perspective before we begin. With holiday waste in Canada. So Zero Waste Canada estimates that each Canadian tosses out around 50 kilograms of garbage over the holidays. And this is thanks to the purchases of 3,000 tons of foil, 2.6 billion Christmas cards, and 6 million rolls of tape. Around 540,000 tons of wrapping paper and gift bags are thrown out every year in Canada. And just to give you a little bit of a visual, this is equivalent to around 100,000 elephants. During the holiday season, around 25%, there's about a 25% increase in household waste, just in the holiday season. Metro Vancouver launched a campaign around 7 years ago, which is called Create Memories, Not Garbage. They have curated around 170 examples of gifts and decorating and wrapping ideas that don't create waste. And prior to this program launch, residents were sending around 20,000 tons of waste to landfills from the span of December 25th past the new year to January 5th every year. And they found that after launching this program, some statistics from 2016 showed that the amount of this has lowered to about 15,000 tons. So it's kind of showing that with more awareness and with more conversations about this, some changes are being made. So that's why we're all gathered here today, just to learn a little bit more and have some fun with it. So let's talk a little bit about wrapping and recycling. So if you've gone on this app before, it's called Recycle Coach. And here I looked up Sarnia, Ontario, where I live. And this app allows you to look up different materials to see whether or not they can be recycled or whether they should be thrown out in the garbage. So when I looked up gift bags and gift wrap, it says that they cannot be recycled. This goes along with gift bags and tapes and sparkly ribbons. Some cities like Toronto will recycle plain paper gift wrap, but anything with glitter or velvet or foil on it, unfortunately, it has to be plucked out. And one really big thing to think about this holiday season is to try to avoid wish cycling, and that app can really help us do that. So items that I found should stay out of the blue bin that are kind of related to the holiday season are clementine boxes or wooden fruit boxes, ribbons, bows, wrapping paper and decorations, plastic toys, styrofoam and bubble wrap. We see this, with things that we may be ordering online or having different packages being delivered, as well as paper napkins, towels, and soiled paper plates. However, these paper napkins and towels can be composted. So now I want to talk a little bit about eco-friendly gift wrapping. Gift wrapping is unfortunately one of the most wasteful parts of the holiday season, and there's no doubt that gifts look absolutely beautiful sitting under the tree with the variety of festive patterns on the wrapping paper. But as soon as they're opened, that trash piles up very quickly. So some alternatives and some eco-friendly gift wrapping ideas are bandanas, scarves or handkerchiefs, sheets or button-up shirts. You can even use newspaper or recycled paper. Another one is leftover packaging materials from, say, a mailed package. So you can reuse any brown paper that it came in or even the boxes that it came in. Another really cool one is old maps. I think this would be kind of a fun and unique way to receive a gift. Another one are pretty tea towels or dishcloths, a reusable bag or a basket, as well as reusing jars or tin boxes. And it's always important to try to use items that you already own and use up what you have first. So when it comes to decorating your gifts, you can still have lots of fun in this way. You can do some drawings or stamps to spruce up paper bags or brown paper. You can make bows out of excess materials. There's lots of different tutorials online to do this. You can also go out and look for some real plants or sprigs different leaves and foliage. Another really cool one would be kids' artwork. If you have the kids' permission to just get creative and decorate some of the gifts, it could be a really cool way to have them included in the process of gift wrapping. Another one is to put some vintage jewelry on top, some twine, or a nice card written on recycled paper or cardboard. And it's really cool if you offer to collect these materials afterwards or inspire others and just have a conversation about trying to use them again next year. I found a pretty shocking statistic. If every Canadian wrapped just 3 gifts in upcycled materials rather than buying wrapping paper new, enough paper would be saved to cover 45,000 hockey rinks. So this was kind of a shocking statistic for me that kind of put everything in perspective a little bit. A really cool thing that I found when I was looking up some ideas was a concept of Hiroshiki Wrapping. This is a series of beautiful Japanese wrapping techniques for wrapping gifts in cloth. It's a method that's been used for over 1,200 years in Japan. Wrapping items implies respect towards the recipient on giving gifts. And so wrapping gifts with Hiroshiki lends elegance, special meaning, and encourages the recipient to keep that cloth after and use it again. While Japanese culture is not alone in using fabric wrapping, Hiroshiki has a distinctive style reflecting interest in ceremony, beauty, multifunctional objects, and thoughtful detail. This ancient form has inspired many people to be environmentally conscious when gift giving. There's lots of information online now with different wrapping techniques. And yeah, I highly recommend you checking out some of the history of this and some different ways that we can wrap our gifts. So now I would love to introduce our special guest, Kaely Moyer. Welcome, Kaely. So happy that you're joining with us. Kaely, hi. Kaely is a Master's of Environment and Sustainability student at the University of Western, and she is also a very dedicated volunteer and the co-founder of the Sarnia Sustainability Ambassadors. So welcome, Kaely.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Hi,
All
Kaely.
right.
Thank you so much to Kaely and the Academy and Great Lakes Refill for having me here tonight to talk about waste around the holidays. It's one of my favorite topics, and I know Kaely and I have both had fun brainstorming, thinking outside the box for this season. So I'm excited to get into it. Awesome. So gifts are obviously the most common way to show our appreciation and affection around the holiday season, but oftentimes we end up buying a large number of presents just out of habit and don't really think whether the receiver of the gift will truly use it and if it won't end up in a landfill or a thrift store within the year or so. So we've been brainstorming some ideas to get you thinking creatively and sustainably this season. So a classic but often undervalued present or gift is giving the gift of experiences. So if your loved one tends to value quality time over physical gifts, this is a great option for them. Consider giving them a gift that leads them to making more memories as opposed to just having more items. It's a really incredibly rewarding experience for a lot of people, both giving those gifts and receiving them. We'll talk about a couple examples here. So tickets to a show, concert, or museum are a great option. Prepaying for some classes of that person's favorite hobbies like dancing, cooking, or art. Providing them with a dinner out, whether that's a gift card to their favorite restaurant or taking them out to a meal. Everyone loves to dine out, but doesn't always get that opportunity to treat themselves to it. Another great option is a weekend getaway, whether that's booking a trip for them. So they just open it up and have this planned out for them, depending on how close you are. You probably don't want to do that to someone who you're not too close with. Or if you know that they're going on a trip to a certain area, you could, pay for one of the activities that they might do and treat them to that. And then finally, if you gave them some money to participate in an experience or a service that they've had their eye on. So, sharing tattoo ideas with each other, maybe you could provide them some money to invest in that tattoo, or head to the spa for the day or something along those lines.
Absolutely. And another little eco tip to go off of the dinner out idea is to bring a small container in case there are any leftovers, so you can avoid any unnecessary takeout packaging.
Yes, that's going to be one of my New Year's resolutions this year, I think, to bring a container.
That's mine too. I was just talking about that today.
Yeah, I just forgot about it with the pandemic, I think, and now I want to get back in the habit. So,
Yeah, I love
sorry, I think I'm on a little bit of a lag, so bear with us, everyone. So gifts can also be inspired by the packaging that they come in. Some packaging you can't get away from, and I know this for a fact when it comes to Barbie dolls, if those are still popular these days. They're riddled with so many plastic pieces packaging them in. But there are lots of options nowadays that prioritize more of a circular model or less packaging. And there are tons of businesses, even locally in Sarnia-Lambton, who offer whether it's a refillable product or a returnable packaging. Some ideas for your holiday shopping would include Great Lakes Refill. Great Lakes Refill has everything from bulk food to refillable personal care products, and so many zero waste swaps that you didn't even know existed. I swear every time I go in there, there's a new item I didn't know was had a sustainable alternative. Additionally, refillable growlers of beer are always available from local breweries like Refined Fool, or if you're looking for an alcohol-free beverage, Kombucha Hound has a great return and refill program. Additionally, you can treat your loved ones to some self-care from Come Clean, which is a local beauty brand, and they have a return and refill program, and their products are also available at Great Lakes Refill. And finally, we have a couple candle companies that either use sustainable packaging or offer a refill program. So that's a great idea.
Yes. There's also a really cool idea that I know a lot of people in my family like to do. It's called Santa's Beers Around the World. So what we do is we just go to the local LCBO and gather up some local beers in cans, or even some from different countries that we'd like people to try, and put them in, a reusable bag, and encourage them to bring back the empties when they're done. So this is kind of like a unique gift idea if anyone is looking. It's definitely a hit.
It's super fun to put together too, I would imagine, as well.
Yeah, it's fun to see all the different options from around the world. We're super lucky to have access to all of that.
Yeah, you don't realize how far items are traveling.
Exactly.
So an incredibly undervalued gift as well is giving a donation in someone's name, especially for the person who seems like they have everything. This is a great option. Nearly everyone has a cause that is near and dear to their heart. So consider asking your loved one if there's any specific organizations or causes that they particularly are invested in, and donate some money or items in their honor. We've listed a couple categories of these organizations just to get the juices flowing. There's lots of social justice and advocacy groups out there, some animal charities and shelters, youth services, environmental charities, all that. There's tons. So consider that when you're giving gifts this year.
Yeah, and I just want to put it out there in the chat. If anyone has some organizations that you would consider donating to, definitely put them in the comments. We would love to hear them.
Yeah, give them a shout out.
Yes.
Awesome. So if your loved one has expressed interest in reducing their environmental impact, or even if they haven't, you can consider gifting them a zero waste or low waste alternative. One of the best ways that Kaely and I were talking about doing this is taking notice of what that person might use every day or frequently, and see if you can find an alternative to swap that item. So they only need to buy it one time, or it would reduce their waste and save them some money along the way as well.
Absolutely.
I see we have some organizations being listed as well in the chat.
Yeah, we see Big Brothers, Big Sisters, and Rebound, both absolutely amazing organizations to donate to here locally in Sarnia. Awesome.
So yeah, on the note of reducing your packaging there, some ideas that I think we like are, shampoo bars, packageless shampoo, soap, lotions, things like that. They exist if you didn't know. Or things like bamboo toothbrushes. Everyone uses a toothbrush, and when they're made of plastic, that's not breaking down for millions and millions of years. So giving them that compostable toothbrush is a great swap. As well, for the avid chef or baker, or really anyone who makes food, beeswax wraps are a great alternative to cling wrap. Reusable freezer and snack bags are a great option, opposed to Ziploc bags. Reusable cupcake or muffin tins, and silicone baking mats are another one.
Yes, those are all awesome ideas.
And if you're someone who is not looking forward to venturing out to the mall, or not super comfortable shopping online, you can consider getting creative and making a homemade gift to give. There are tons and tons of do-it-yourself projects for that only call for items that are around your house. I know Kaely has a good knack for this, kind of working something up out of nothing, it seems, and it saves you money, flexes your creative muscles, and gives your loved one a truly unique item.
Absolutely.
Actually, you can see on my wall, Kaely made this and this.
Yes. Quite crafty, if you would say.
Yes.
And it's awesome about DIY gifts is that a lot of the items, sometimes we have them stashed away in our house already, or a friend or a family member or a neighbor might have something that we need to use for the gift. So may save that extra trip as well. If you have any thoughtful DIY gifts that you've ever received or you've made before, feel free to write them in the chat too. We would love to hear all of your ideas. Get creative.
Yeah, and on that note, I would love to hear some of your experiences making DIY crafts, because I feel like I'm not a very crafty person, but as we've listed here, there's lots of ideas that aren't just, obviously there's artwork and knitting and crocheting, things like that, that require kind of a fine-tuned skill, but there's lots of options as well with sentimental gifts like a photo book, a handwritten letter, or a memory jar. Or there's tons of recipes out there for home and personal care products like room sprays or body scrubs, as well as recipes for homemade goodies. I think we were talking earlier, Kaely, about seeing at Great Lakes Refill, they have a jar with bulk items, everything you need to make cookies, or I think there's another one that's soup. And that kind of gives the gift of that homemade treat or recipe, but that person doesn't have to venture out and gather those materials.
Absolutely. It's all just in one spot, easy to go. And it's not only zero waste item, but it's also an experience that someone gets to have too, right? They get to have fun trying out a new recipe. And that's a really big part of the holidays, right? Is spending that quality time together, connecting with one another. So when the DIY can go both ways, that's a plus for sure. And a few things that I've made as gifts that have been really fun are some different bath salts. So some pink salts with lavender inside. I made a few pillow sprays and it's just really nice to receive a handmade gift. Just knowing that someone put that time into it is really, really sweet.
So another great gift idea is to ditch the physical gift altogether and opt for a digital one. There's a subscription service for nearly everything you could imagine nowadays. So, but not everyone can afford it. And a lot of streaming services or subscription services offer either a 1-year payment option or 6 months. And that would be a great idea for someone who might want to dip their toe into this subscription service and see if it's worth it. There's also a lot of paid apps and audiobooks out there. There's like a yoga app that I use that has a premium version, and Duolingo, the language learning app, they have a premium version. They're both things that I might not necessarily invest in myself, but would be a great option for a gift. And I think there's tons of apps out there that people are using and maybe not talking about as much. So you can pick their brain, see if there's any subscription service they've had their eyes on.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Another great option is electronic gift cards to their favorite store, or, even just for a coffee. That's a great gift to give and receive in your inbox.
Yes. Another good one. My aunt actually gave this to me a couple of years ago. She put together, this was one of the most thoughtful and heartwarming gifts I think I've ever received. She put them together for my siblings and I. She went through all of the family photos and videos from vacations, from when we were really little. She put them all on a USB for us, and she put it in a little box. And this was just such a unique and special gift that I will never forget. And if you're ever looking for that sentimental value and something different, I definitely recommend doing this. It's pretty waste-free and just an awesome way to just reconnect with some memories. And it's really awesome. You can also do this on an external hard drive as well.
Yeah, I feel like too, some of your family members or friends might have photos that you've never seen or haven't seen for a lot of time past. So I think that's a great idea.
Absolutely.
Additionally, before we move on too, just like you can gift lessons in person, there's a handful of online learning platforms that you could gift. Udemy, for example, has a wide variety of classes that you can purchase and complete at your own speed. So if anyone's interested in dipping their toe and learning a bit more about a specific topic, then Udemy is a great option there. There's also ones like Skillshare, I think, is out there. They have like a ton of different activities that you can hone in on and really learn a bit more about.
Yeah, I've also heard of Masterclass as well.
Yes.
Another popular one. Just reading some of the comments, I see one from Chris. It says, activities as gifts are awesome, like rock climbing, concerts, really good instead of material gifts. That's a great point. Absolutely. And then Jamie says, coconut curry soup mix at Great Lakes is to die for. So awesome. I'm definitely going to have to try that out.
Awesome. And prioritizing pre-loved items and gifts is always a good rule of thumb, even outside of the holiday season. Always check the thrift store first, and maybe even a couple of them. Secondhand stores, vintage and antique shops are always great places to look for truly unique items. And while you're doing that, you're cutting down on waste of resources like textiles for clothes or materials to make up the items that you're purchasing there.
Yes. And after all, the most sustainable gift is the one that already exists.
Yes, exactly. So some ideas here would be antique teacups or mugs, some comfortable sweaters, Christmas sweaters, books. Every time I go to a thrift store, I come home with a really cheap book, but it's used and it's something that I would have bought new anyways. So that's a great place to look for books, as well as artwork. Tons of artwork is just sitting at these thrift shops or vintage stores and are great to invest in. Additionally, we kind of briefly touched on this, but if you have a knack for refurbishing or sewing or anything like that, purchasing some home decor that you could personalize or touch up, or some clothing that you could kind of reimagine if you have that knack, that's a great place to start looking.
Absolutely. And just to go off the teacup idea, this could also be paired with a refillable tea. That's zero waste. You can refill it at a grocery store, and you can even make it into a candle if you'd like.
Yes, true.
Yeah. And I think antique stores are so cool because it's something that is so original and that other people may not have. And I think a really cool idea would be to go with a friend to an antique store together and take a look at some of the items and see if there's any items that really speak to them, and keep those in mind.
Totally. And this one's kind of on the opposite end of the spectrum, but investing a little more on something higher quality that will last them a lifetime is a great gift option. Whether that's, camping gear or hiking gear, that can get pretty expensive, but is truly durable and lasts people their entire lives, it seems. High quality shoes or high quality clothing is out there. Usually when it's sustainably sourced, it's even more expensive. So people are less inclined to invest in that themselves. And Kaely, you were mentioning products offer like a repair type.
Yeah, we're starting to see a lot of companies kind of taking more responsibility and kind of going back with that circular economy idea of giving that lifetime warranty or, that promise to fix or repair an item. So it's always nice to look a little bit into the company that you're supporting to see if they offer this, just to make sure that those gifts will be made to last. And I'm just wondering in the comments, has anyone received a gift from a long time ago that has seemed to stand the test of time? If so, we would love to hear it and get some ideas.
Yes, I would love to see.
Yes.
And kind of a rule of thumb throughout this whole holiday season is to really get intentional and stay intentional throughout the whole process. So as you're out there shopping, trying to check people off your list, really start thinking, who made this item? Where did it come from? Is there a local option of this same item or a local artist who could recreate this? Why do I want to purchase this item for this person? Will they truly be using it? And where will this item go when this person is done using it? If it's going to head straight to a landfill, maybe there's an option where it will break down easier or some place that they can return it to. And then definitely when we use the term sustainable or eco-friendly, be aware of greenwashing, I guess. And that just means companies that are advocating that they are eco-conscious in their design, but maybe aren't. So really thinking and staying intentional throughout the whole process is one of the most sustainable things you can do this season.
Absolutely. And I'm just going to read some of the comments here. We have a few. Jamie says, antique stores have stuff you'll never see again as well. So true. It's such original items. Sometimes they're very hard to come by and you get lucky with a certain find. Stephanie says, I still have t-shirts from when I was 12. There you go. That stood the test of time for sure. Must have been some high quality t-shirts, or you just take good care of them.
Yes.
And Olivia says, memories and experiences always last a lifetime. And that could not be more true.
It's rather poetic, actually. I love that.
Oh, thank you, Olivia. Awesome. Thank you for sharing all of those amazing gift ideas. I have so many thoughts running through my head of what I want to get people. So thank you. We're going to move on to some eco-conscious holiday traditions. So just things that don't produce a lot of waste and that are super fun. So if you're looking forward to rallying up some friends and finally getting together for the holidays, wanting to make some memories and something to look forward to, here's a few fun and eco-conscious holiday traditions. So something like bringing your jars and going together to a local refill store to get some ingredients and bake something delicious together, or bake something for people that you know. Another one could be to bring a mug and fill it up somewhere for some homemade hot chocolate to visit the holiday lights downtown. This is something I definitely want to do. Another one is to dust off those skates and go to a public skate at your local arena. 'Tis the season. If there's enough snow, you can go sledding, make a snow fort, or build a snowman. Always fun. You're never too old to have some fun and spend some time outside. Another one, like we mentioned before, making DIY gifts with your friends. And a little eco tip, you can always carpool to get to the gathering spot that you're going to. Another one is to visit a local farmer's market or a holiday market. I know we've had some recent ones here in Sarnia, so keep your eye out in your hometown to see if there's any local artisans and business that you can support. And another one that can be really fun is organizing a plant swap or a clothing swap or an item swap to get some gift ideas, or even just doing a gift exchange. So if anyone has other holiday traditions that they'd like to put in the chat, feel free. And we have some eco holiday tips and tricks that we'd like to share just to kind of end things off. So one of them is to just pay attention a little bit. So this could be something that someone you love may need fixed or refurbished. They just never have the time to get around to it. You could maybe take it somewhere to get that done for them, or do it for them if you have the resources. Another one is, well, this is a great way to upcycle existing materials and avoid waste. And Kelly, you can jump in.
Yeah. Supporting local is always, should always be a priority. It's always a priority of mine. I think the local businesses in your hometown, they will likely have something close to what you're looking for. And even I've had a couple of my favorite shops in downtown Sarnia. I was looking for a specific item and they didn't quite have it, but they could order it in. As we're almost halfway through December, well, still a bit before, we still have some time. But even for next year, that's something to always check in with a local store and see if they could do a special order. And on that same note, local artisans in your community usually love commissions. This time of year can be pretty busy for them, but it's always worth asking if they could make a custom item for you for a gift. And I think that's a great way to support your local economy there.
Yes. And also supporting businesses that are making an effort to be more sustainable or have that environmental cause behind them is always great. One that Kelly and I were talking about was having open conversations with friends and family about how you symbolize your love and how you like to receive love. And a great way to do this is looking up the 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman. I don't know if many people have done this already, but we all took the test one day. It's like an online test. And this is just a great way to spark some gift ideas that are beyond material items. So say if someone really values quality time, or if they really like to give acts of service. So those are just some really great ideas. Just if you're kind of stuck or you just really want to get to know an idea that would really suit the person that you're looking for.
So another great way to embrace the holiday season sustainably is to really focus on sharing and saving. And this is something as a society we've all kind of moved away from, but getting into that mindset of asking, if you don't have wrapping paper this year, even though we listed some other great, non-wrapping paper alternatives, ask your family, ask your friends if they have anything extra that they're trying to work through for wrapping materials, or when it comes to sharing, or when it comes to holiday cooking. Like, I know I want to make some Christmas cookies this year, but I don't have any cookie cutters that are themed or really any at all. So looking to reach out to friends and family and see if they have something that you can just borrow for the evening, for the season, whatever. Just getting that mindset of sharing is a great way to sustain or be sustainable this break.
Love it. Such a good idea. Another one could be lending a helping hand, right? Going back to that love language, that act of service. One idea could be maybe you got a gift card for a couple that you know to go on a date night, and you can offer to babysit or dog sit for them while they're out. That could go such a long way. Another one is helping to paint a room, or if you have the expertise to fix a car. So just lending that helping hand to a friend is awesome.
Yes. And another thing to consider this season is setting price limits. And this is both in relation to environmentally conscious behavior, but also just really connecting with the people around you and checking in, making sure that, everyone's in a different financial situation, and especially post-pandemic. And that's not something people talk about super frequently. So setting a price limit and saying, let's keep it small this year and do a $15 gift exchange, or, however much you can each spend. And not only does this help each other, stay within your budget, or, stay afloat sometimes, it also helps avoid just giving and giving so many different gifts that maybe you're just trying to fill up space under the tree.
Absolutely. Such an important thing. And as we get older, right, it's more important to have that mutual understanding about gift expectations.
Definitely.
Another one, checking in. So just simply asking a group of friends, are we going to do individual gifts this year? Should we share an experience instead? Should we do a group gift exchange? Another fun thing to do is to make it a challenge. So you could do a low waste challenge for your gifts, getting all your gifts from secondhand places, or having gifts that are supporting local artists and businesses can be kind of fun. A little twist on the gift swap.
Yes, for sure. Also asking for a list, there's no shame in having a list and sending a list around. This really reduces the items being purchased that someone might already have or may not use in the future. I know my family, we all have a very open communication now that we're all living, outside of the nuclear home. We always check in and say, oh, did you get this for mom? Like, I don't want to double up on that. I've heard of a couple of families who they've opened the same book or something at all these different events. So always asking for a list is great, checking in with other people, and asking for links. And another reason why this is so important is when you return an item, and again, especially in this COVID, like post-COVID time, a lot of items aren't resold, whether they think that it's, that it needs to be cleaned, or if it's just not in its pristine condition. So avoiding, it's great to return, but it's always best to avoid that if possible, because you don't know if that's going to really end up anywhere but a landfill.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Another one is checking in with goals and resolutions. Holidays, everyone is thinking about some new hobbies and goals for the new year. So talking to loved ones about what those goals are. So maybe you can prepare them for something that they're really looking forward to trying out is also a great idea. I do just want to mention something about trees. So many cities have programs to compost or turn Christmas trees into wood chips with curbside pickups or depots to drop them off. Used trees can be sometimes used for mulch, and they could be chipped to be sold for landscaping use. Or in Toronto, I read that they use these to compost in city parks. To make compost, and then they can be left to degrade naturally and even provide shelter for animals. And just the one catch is just cities ask just to remind people to make sure that all your ornaments and tinsels and lights have been removed from the tree before dropping them off or putting them out. So now we're gonna talk a little bit about our giveaway. So just like last webinar, we are going to be giving one live participant a $25 gift certificate to their local refill store, and we will be notifying our lucky winner at our next Facebook Live event in 2 weeks. It's going to be on December 23rd. So stay tuned for more details about that as well. And once again, this stream is brought to you in part by Economy. Economy is the newest online environmental education platform for your family. So you can learn, share, and grow with courses on eco topics, from things from climate change to electronic waste. And I'm going to give the link here in the chat. It is economy/win, or economy.ca/win. I'll put it here in the chat. Gonna come up 3 times. That's just me. And so we'll notify you on the next Facebook Live event if you've won. And I also just wanted to say that Great Lakes Refill Company is here for your journey to reduce waste and make shopping more sustainably easy. And while starting a zero waste journey can seem pretty daunting at first, a few simple changes can really make a huge impact, and together we can make a change. So this concludes the end of our presentation. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. Kelly, thank you for your time tonight and joining us on this live. We hope you learned a little bit about how we can have an eco-friendly holiday season to give the gift of a better future, because although it may be the most wonderful time of the year, it is unfortunately also one of the most wasteful times of the year as well. creating the most waste. So I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. And if you want, feel free to write in the comments your main takeaways from today. We can still read the comments after the live stream ends. And yeah, hope everybody enjoys the rest of their night. Thanks, Kaely, for joining us.
Thanks for having me, and thanks everyone for your great suggestions. I see Jamie mentioned having a bulletproof metal water bottle that she's had for the last, they've had for the last 10 years, and I think that that's amazing. Just a shout out there.
Awesome. Take care, everybody. Stay safe, stay warm, and stay healthy. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.